Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, at the time I'm doing this, folks. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little impressed I was able to get that good of a Snapple with all the greasy food that I've eaten today. But anyway, we'll get to that. Folks, it is a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. I'm going to take a quick hit off my drink. There's so little liquid in it. But it's okay because I'm reviewing a drink. So, but folks, yeah. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, why I wear super cool shirts? I always like to highlight super cool shirt. Super cool shirt am I wearing today? Well, folks, I got it at Target. It's my Blue Beetle shirt. Which, at the time I'm doing this, the Blue Beetle film had its theatrical run. It apparently did not do stupendously, which is both sadly expected and disappointing, because I do like the character, clearly. The co-creator of the character is a guy named Keith Giffen, who sadly just passed away not too long ago, which broke my fucking heart. Like, it literally had me fucking depressed for a solid week. Guy is fucking prolific, in my opinion, man. He's co-created so many fantastic characters, not only Blue Beetle, characters like Rocket Raccoon and Lobo. The guy's an icon, in my opinion. But they did do the movie. I did see the movie, and I'm not going to go into a full review, but it's just, yeah, it had its moments, but then it also had a lot of moments that weren't moments. And I hate to be this guy, but like, if I were DC, I don't know what they're planning to do going forward, I maybe wouldn't get the script writer or director who did that movie to do another movie for you. Just saying. Not saying they can't do other good movies, but the superhero movie thing, maybe not so much. Anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it a drink? Because it's a drink. Boom! It's this! It is vitamin water, Gutsy flavor, which is zero sugar watermelon peach. Ha 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 ha! I reviewed a few vitamin water things here. It's got a little thing. You and your gut are supposed to be friends. Y'all should stop beefing and just figure out your differences and respect each other's wishes. Your roommates. After all, no more passive-aggressive notes on the sink, just good stuff like the prebiotic fiber in this bottle. Folks, me and my gut figured out a long time ago that it is just the absolute freaking whipping boy in this relationship. It's like, just eat it, wham! And it's just like, so, yeah, man, I reviewed some vitamin water stuff. This is, I guess, a new one. I've never seen it before, so I picked it up. I figured, what the fuck? Let's give it a go. I need a drink anyway, man. I just got through reviewing a bunch of stuff from Boom, a place called Gyro Express, so go look up those reviews. I did 3 of them. Okay. It's not bad. Thing is, I don't do a lot of vitamin water, but I'll get it every so often. More Gatorade, Powerade type of person, but vitamin water has its place to be sure. It's never my favorite kind of sports drink, but it has its certain appeal. One thing that I've always found really interesting about it, it has kind of a dry taste to it. Whereas, again, compared to, like your Gatorades or Powerades, those are all about hydration. And I'm not saying that this isn't hydrating, but something about the way they construct it, it gives it sort of a dry kind of taste to it. The zero sugar aspect I'm going to bring up right now, because this is an instance where, and I have railed on about zero sugar stuff in plenty of reviews. Zero sugar can be perfectly fine, but I don't think we're quite there with the technology yet where we can do like a 1-to-1 when it comes to like the flavor profile of a non-zero sugar version, which I don't even know if there is non-zero sugar version of this one. If there was, I would have probably tried that over this. But the zero sugar aspect in this, it's doing two things. One, to its credit, it doesn't have an overly abrasive zero sugar taste, which some zero sugar products, less so now these days, but some of them still do, where like it's just too active in the flavor profile. However, the other thing that it's doing is you can tell that it's also capping the flavor on this overall experience. Like, if this were a straight up, just normally sweetened drink, I think I would like this a lot more, because, not because of zero sugar taste, but just because it would have more flavor to go off of. Not saying it isn't flavorful, but I just want to get that out of the way before I even go into the description, so that you can kind of understand my logic. Because it's not a bad tasting drink, but it tastes a little bit watered down. That's kind of how I would describe it. Still has that somewhat dry taste to it that I mentioned with the vitamin water stuff. I will say this, in terms of blending the flavors together with the watermelon and the peach, I think they did a good job with that. At the start of it, you get a nice watermelon hit, and it's not like that artificial watermelon where like they amp up the fucking watermelon flavor way too much and it really doesn't taste much like watermelon. But it's distinctly watermelon, and it has like a very, it's probably just a psychological thing, just because like you think of watermelon, it's a nice juicy thing. As soon as this hit my tongue, my brain was like, ooh, hydration, from that watermelon taste. Pretty quickly thereafter, it does sort of move into the blended taste of the two. And then really to ride it out throughout the entire aftertaste is that sort of peach flavor. I will say, it's flavored plus other natural flavors. The peach flavor is, I would imagine it's probably something more artificial than natural flavored, which is what it is. But it's distinctly a peach flavor, to be fair. But it doesn't have that, like, real vibrancy, that a proper peach does. But it is still good. Yeah, I like it for what it is. I will say for me, I feel that the peach aftertaste goes on a little bit too long. It's nice when I've mentioned this with peach before, like things that I've reviewed. Peach is a great flavor, but if you go too far with it, it almost becomes a little bit obnoxious, for me. With this, because the aftertaste of the peach lingers for so long, it sort of borders on that. Doesn't quite get there, but it is one of those things where it's like, I could have this flavor be done now. Aside from that, though, it's not a bad drink. It's definitely not a favorite sports drink of mine. It's not even my favorite flavor of vitamin water, but it's pretty good for what it is. I think it hits all the marks that it's trying to hit. It's a zero sugar drink, which to its credit, again, it doesn't have like the abrasive zero sugar taste, but again, does kind of dilute the flavor a little bit. Does have a watermelon aspect to it, does have a peach aspect to it. It drinks pretty nicely for what it is. I don't have any big gripes with it. It really, in this case, it comes down to just strictly personal preference. Which, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Probably not, and sure. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. It's a very okay thing. I'm happy to have tried it, but again, there's just so many other options that I would go with before this that I just don't think that there's a reason for me to return. The flavor combination of watermelon and peach is kind of interesting, and it works pretty well, but again, it's just, for me personally, it doesn't, the peachy aftertaste is just a little bit much, the somewhat diluted flavor from the zero sugar aspect of it. I think if it had been a little bit more watermelon forward, maybe I could have worked with it a little bit more, but again, it's not a bad drink, but I just don't think it's anything I need to return to. Now, if I'm recommending it to other people, if it's a new item, I don't know if it is or not, but if you've never tried it, it's certainly worth trying. It's not bad, but I would just say, kind of be reasonable with your expectations. I don't know anybody whose favorite drink is any vitamin water. I'm sure that those people exist, and if you are one, not to hate on you or anything. But, like, I know people who really like Gatorade. I even know people who like Powerade. I don't know anybody who is particularly partial to vitamin water. But obviously it has its market, so good on it. But for me personally, I would just get a Gatorade or a Powerade, something like that. Final 2 things, folks. Wait. Did I do the thing? No. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there, have yourselves a truly watermelon-tastic rest of your life, but proper watermelon, okay? Like an actual watermelon, not that goofy fucking let's amp up the flavor watermelon nonsense. Watermelon's good as is. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not as possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do all the time, I know. I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole, especially when you're over there. You've been reviewing stuff for probably close to 2 hours now. You're full of meats and wonderful foods and pastry and all kinds of stuff. And you just want to go inside and lay it down. Even though you know you shouldn't. But it's important when we deal with stressful things, or it's important when we deal with situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to watch this review of mine, and maybe you're going to go over there and be like, Brandon, you're full of shit. I love vitamin water. I drink vitamin water 24 hours a day. It has literally been hooked up to the back of my fucking head like Bane from Batman. So whenever I need a hit, I just squeeze a thing and I'm like, brrr, with the power of vitamins. I mean, you could do that, I guess. I don't know medically how that would work for you. Poorly, I would guess, but I mean, hey, maybe you're some eccentric billionaire or some shit and you're just like, I can do whatever I want because I have all the money in the world. I mean, you do you in that case, I guess. If you'd like to sponsor the show, that's what I'm hoping for, folks. That's the real sampler platter experience. It's just me going over there and just being like, maybe some crazy rich motherfucker will just go over there and be like, I like the cut of your jib. Here's $20 million. And I'm just like, all right. Probably not going to happen. Or conversely, don't do any of the things that I said unless you would like to give me $20 million. But, like, let's try to have it be as above board as possible. I'm not saying it has to be 100% above board. I'm just, bye.